I am absolutely convinced that if you start to use the strangest secret in your life right now, you will start to make positive, profound, powerful changes for the better to become the person you want to become. And it's as simple as this. Here is the strangest secret. You ready? You become what you think about most of the time. Now, that sounds ridiculously simple, I understand, but the question you've got to ask yourself with any of these basic, fundamental, yet powerful strategies for life-changing success is this. Are you actually doing it and using it in your own life right now? Is it one of these things where you hear this idea that, yes, we become what we think about, but you're not actually executing on it? My friend, can I invite you right now to decide that if you're not yet living by this concept, then it's vitally important for you to grab hold of this concept right now and use it in your life every single day, because it's the concepts, the ideas, the strategies that we implement into our life every day that actually make the biggest difference. Now the question becomes, where did this idea come from? Well, it's been around for years, at least a few, and you'll know what I mean when I reference a few of the really thought-provoking leaders of the past who have also promulgated and shared this same sentiment. By the way, this idea of the strangest secret came from the book by Earl Nightingale, where he says the key to success and the key to failure is we become what we think about. Now, he goes on to reference a few thought leaders from the past who have also shared this similar sentiment, and I want you to be reminded of their words because they're inspiring, they're encouraging, and I believe will galvanize this truth inside of you so that you start to live it out on a regular basis instead of just hearing it and then letting it go into the abyss of where most thoughts and great ideas tend to accumulate. Now, he references Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, who said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." He goes on to say what Ralph Waldo Emerson said, which is, "A man is what he thinks about all day long." And then William James, the father of psychology in America, said, "The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind." He goes on to say that if we need only in cold blood act as if the thing in question were real, and it will become infallibly real by growing into such a connection with our life that it will become real. It will become so knit with habit and emotion that our interests in it will be those which characterize belief. My friend, if you're not yet integrating this concept into your life, it's vitally important to remind yourself of this truth so that you live it out every day. Now the question becomes, okay, I want to hang on to this truth, this idea, this concept that we become what we think about. But what do I need to do to make it happen? First and foremost, you need to put pen to paper and journal about the future ideal self, the future ideal life that you want to live. The person you want to become has to be so integrated into your mind, into your thinking, that wherever you go, wherever you walk, whatever you're doing, you can call upon this vision, this ideal future self, so that you can start to train your mind and your nervous system to know this is who you're becoming. You have to convince yourself first that you know who you're becoming, because as soon as you start to convince yourself and believe and think about that version of yourself that you want to become, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You can't not become that person if you're thinking about that person all day long. Now, I'm not suggesting that while you're working or you're on conference calls or you're talking with clients or teammates at your full-time job that you're thinking about becoming this person, because obviously I believe in focusing and being present to fulfill your true potential in any given moment, to maximize the value that you can contribute wherever you are in any moment of the day. But what it does mean is as you stand up to go get water or a coffee, or you're walking from one meeting to the next, or you're walking from your car in the parking lot into the building, or you're taking a break, a walk around your house or your apartment community, you have to imagine the person you're becoming. Walk as that person. As soon as you start to walk as that person, as soon as you start to stand confidently as that person, you will start to train your mind and your nervous system to become that person. And I can tell you in my own life, I've found this to be true. I've seen amazing things happen in my life because of this concept of the strangest secret. It's not something I've just read about and decided to share on social media here on YouTube because I think it's a good idea. It's something I know for certain works. I can tell you that the first time I ever realized that I could be a speaker, that I could stand in front of groups and teams and organizations and large groups of people and speak to them and inspire and motivate and catalyze positive change in front of large groups. As soon as I realized that was a thing, I started thinking about it all the time. I obsessed over this vision of being able to stand in front of a group and make a positive impact. And eventually, these thoughts turned into words. I started to talk about myself as someone who was a speaker. I started to do things that a speaker would do. I would make video content on social media. I would post about being invited to these small little gatherings of 4 and 5 people just to talk about a simple subject. But eventually this turned into other people saying, gosh, it sounds like you're a speaker. Will you come and speak at my event? And I started to say yes, because it aligned with the vision of who I was becoming, who I knew I could become. And my friend, if you want to become some kind of person, you have to first and foremost start training your thinking to believe in that person, because the next thing that will happen is you will start to talk as that person. Then you'll start to behave as that person. And when opportunities exist around you, you'll hear those opportunities and you'll be able to grab hold of them and take advantage of them and execute on those opportunities, which will then further ingrain you into this ideal future vision of yourself. You will become that person. Just like I started to become a paid speaker for different organizations around the country, you can become whatever you want if you'll just start thinking about becoming that person every single day. And my friend, if you're not yet convinced that this is the thing you need to do, then you need to put pen to paper and start writing out the ideal future vision that you have. And every single day, put pen to paper on who you want to become. Because the more repetition you get with pen to paper on writing out that ideal vision of yourself, the more ingrained it will become into who you are. And you'll start to show up as that person. The other example I can give you is I went from speaking. Many people go from being a one-on-one coach into speaking with large groups. I actually did the opposite. I spoke with large groups, and then one day I thought, gosh, I could be coaching individuals and go a little bit deeper than I can by speaking to large groups. And so I started to think about becoming a coach. And eventually I just started talking about becoming a coach. And one day I was just talking with someone that I was an acquaintance of at the time, has since become a friend, but at the time was just an acquaintance, and just met over a few different engagements, and they asked what I was doing, and I said, yeah, I'm doing some coaching and I'm getting into coaching. And eventually this person became a coaching client, my first coaching client. But it was only because I started thinking about becoming a coach that I actually started to speak about being a coach, that I actually started to act as a coach, and that I actually became a coach. You have a beautiful opportunity in front of you to start using the strangest secret in the world to wake yourself up to your greatest potential, to maximize who you're destined to become, and to become that version of yourself, the best version of yourself, the most vibrant and alive and passionate and potential-filled person, a person living on purpose with meaning and energy and aliveness. You can do it, my friends. Start thinking about, imagining the person that you want to become, and you will slowly but surely, but then eventually faster and faster, move yourself to becoming that person and to living that life. And it requires staying fired up and inspired with thoughts and ideas and words that will move you to become that person. And so if you want to continue to be inspired and fired up to become that person, go and watch this video next, where I will help you along your journey to become the best version of yourself. No matter what struggles and obstacles you're going through, my friend, just keep going.